On today's Technobabble, troubleshooting techniques. Divide and conquer.
This is Tech No Babble, your weekly source for church video and graphics news, perspectives, tips, and tricks. And now here's your host, Paul Clifford.
Hi, and welcome again to another episode of Technobabble. This is the show where every week I help you with church video and graphic design. My name is Paul Allen Clifford. I'm your host, and I'd love for you to ask your questions, leave your comments, etc. So just do that below the video. That's cool. So let's talk about another troubleshooting technique that you can use to narrow down a problem. Now, I've heard this said multiple times. People will say, well, clearly you've got a problem with one of these things, and there's no way to tell which of a list of things. Let's say it's 10 things, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 1,000, doesn't matter. And the advice typically goes like this. What you need to do is disconnect this or deactivate that or remove this. Try it and see if the problem goes away. If it doesn't, repeat. Sure, that's fine if you've got 4 possible things that could be causing a problem, but let's say you've got 400 or 4,000 or 40,000. Is that really the best use of your time? No, not at all. So right now, there is an intermittent problem on trinitydigitalmedia.com that when I post a post, not always, but sometimes it refuses to go all the way through the post process. Now, this went away and then came back, but when it went away, I figured out which plugin was the problem by using this technique. So divide and conquer is basically take the entire number of possible causes and divide those in half. So let's say in this case I had 30 plugins. So I deactivated 15 of them, and then I tested to see if the problem went away. If the problem went away, I knew it was one of those 15. If the problem did not go away, I knew it was the other 15. So that told me something. So that is step 1. Now, you might think, well, I'm still going to be doing this several steps, but think about it. If every time you narrow it down by half, that's a lot fewer steps. So my father used to tell me this story about someone that worked on horses, and he would always say to the person that he was shoeing the horses for, you can pay me this set amount of money, or what I'll do is I'll only charge you a penny for the first nail. Second one, I'll just double it. 2 pennies, no big deal. The problem was that by the time he finished the last nail on the last hoof of the last horseshoe, because every time it doubled, the amount of money was not a penny, it wasn't $1, it was several $100,000. So by doubling, it increases just really, really rapidly. Well, the opposite is true with halving. By halving, it decreases very, very rapidly. So I started out with 30, then I'm down to 15 possible problems, then I'm down to 7 or 8. Then let's say we go with 8. It's 8 possible problems, then it's 4, then it's 2, then it's 1. So I've gotten in 30, 15, 8, 4, 2, 1. In 6 steps, I've narrowed it down as opposed to 30 steps. Because while it's possible that I would have found it with the first step, it's actually very likely that it would have taken at least 15 on average. So, all things being equal, I have a choice between 6 steps and 15 steps to find which of the 30 potential problems are the actual problem. Now, sometimes it's not going to be that simple. Sometimes there are things that are more likely to be the problem, or there are things that you really hope aren't the problem, so you kind of lean away from those. But in practice, this is much more, it's a much quicker process than going through one at a time. So that is the divide and conquer technique. Well, I hope you like this content. If you do, you'd probably like my email newsletter. So go over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/gifts, GIFTS, and there you can pick up a Church Tech gift and a free subscription to my email newsletter, which gives you all sorts of tips and tricks and let you know the great stuff that's happening here at trinitydigitalmedia.com. Also, you'd like my store, and I've just gotten to a beta version of some teleprompter software that I'm getting ready to release, and I'm kind of excited about it. It's not the most polished, it's not the most perfect, but it's a good start at what I've been using in some of the videos I've created. So since I was the guinea pig, I want to share that with you, and you can pick it up very inexpensively. So you can do that here before too long at trinitydigitalmedia.com/store. Until next time, go out and change eternity. This is Paul Allen Clifford with trinitydigitalmedia.com.